95% of LSAT study methods are setting you up to fail. If you're grinding through 40-hour study weeks and still feeling stuck, the problem isn't you, it's how you're studying. What if I told you that focusing on just 10 hours a week with the right strategy can outperform endless hours of frustration and burnout? This isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, and today, we'll dive into how you can make that happen. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, let's start with the biggest myth in LSAT prep. The more you study, the better your score will be. Here's how most people approach the LSAT. They overload their schedules with over 40 hours of practice tests, drills, and content review. They focus on completing as much as possible instead of learning deeply, and they assume effort equals results, only to burn out with little progress. Sound familiar? The problem with this approach is that it doesn't match how the LSAT works. The LSAT isn't a test of memorization. It's a skills-based test. It matters how well you think, not how long you study. That's why grinding endlessly doesn't work. It's also why so many students plateau and can't figure out how to break through to their target score. Now here's the counterintuitive truth. Studying smarter for just 10 hours a week can outperform 40 hours of scattered, unfocused effort. It's not just about cutting back on time, it's about making the time that you spend more productive. The LSAT rewards depth over breadth. If you focus your time on truly mastering the way the test works, its patterns, traps, and logic, you'll see more improvement than you would by simply doing more. And this isn't theory, it's what I've seen time and time again with students who cut their study hours and focus on the right strategies. So today I want to share with you the anti-study method. It's all about prioritizing quality over quantity, and here's how you can start applying it today. First, learn deeply. Instead of rushing through multiple topics, focus on just one at a time. Spend 2 hours mastering a single concept like flaw questions or conditional reasoning. Break it down step by step until you can confidently explain it in your own words. Second, practice smarter. Limit your practice to 15-20 questions at a time, but spend twice as much time reviewing them as you did solving them. For every question, ask yourself, why is the right answer right? Why is the wrong answer wrong? And how did the test maker try to trick me? If you review deeply like this, you'll avoid falling into the same traps again and again. Third, reflect and adjust. After each study session, spend 10-15 minutes reflecting on what worked, what didn't, and what patterns you see in your mistakes. You can then use these insights to adjust your strategy for the next time around. Fourth, take breaks. Rest isn't optional, it's essential. Give yourself time to recharge so you're mentally sharp for your next session. Remember, the LSAT is about thinking clearly, not cramming. Now let's compare two students. Student A spends 40 hours a week on LSAT prep, grinding through full-length tests, drills, and reviewing, but they feel frustrated because their score just isn't improving. In contrast, student B spends just 10 hours a week using this anti-study method. They focus on mastering just one concept at a time, reviewing deeply, and reflecting on their progress. By test day, student B outperforms student A every single time. Why? Because they've learned to think like the test maker, while student A has actually reinforced their bad habits through mindless repetition. So if you're struggling now, that's actually a good thing. Struggling forces you to address weaknesses and build foundational skills. Students who start with lower scores often outperforming those who start strong because they've had to learn the right way to approach the test. On the other hand, students who score high early can often hit a plateau because they skip over the fundamentals. So if you're feeling stuck now, embrace it. It means you're building a stronger foundation that will pay off in the long run. Now here's a better way to structure your study time with just 10 hours a week. You spend 2 hours learning a concept, mastering just one area like argument structure or parallel reasoning, and you want to make sure, of course, that you're using high-quality resources to guide your learning. Next, you spend 3 to 4 hours practicing and reviewing with targeted practice questions, focusing on the concept you just studied, and you want to make sure you're spending more time reviewing your answers than you did solving them on your previous attempt. Then you spend 2 to 3 hours reflecting and analyzing. You review a single practice test or section, you look for patterns in your mistakes, and you identify what you need to focus on next. And you spend an hour resting and resetting, taking a break, reflecting on your progress, and recharging, because mental sharpness matters just as much as your actual study time. And this approach isn't just about doing less, it's about doing what actually works. Now, here's how this approach has worked for others. Jennifer was stuck at a 153 after months of studying 30 to 40 hours a week. She switched to 10 focused hours instead and started applying the anti-study method, and within just 2 months, her score jumped up to a 166. Or another student, James, who was struggling to break into the 150s despite weeks of nonstop practice tests. After shifting to a smarter, more focused plan, he hit 160 in just 6 weeks. Now, not all students are going to use the same plan. Some struggle with logical reasoning, others with timing or reading comprehension. The best results are going to come when your study approach is tailored to your unique needs. And that's why at LSAT Unplugged, we create personalized day-by-day study plans for all of our students, fitting your life, your schedule, and the particular areas that you need to focus on. If you'd like my help creating a plan like that and pairing it with private one-on-one coaching so you can get feedback on what you're doing wrong and why, my team and I would be glad to help you out. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out because the LSAT doesn't have to take over your life. The secret isn't grinding for hours, it's focusing on the right things with the right strategies. If you're stuck in the 40-hour grind, it's time to break free of it. And by focusing on just 10 hours a week instead, you'll study smarter, avoid burnout, and get closer to your goal score. So stop sabotaging yourself and stop studying the wrong way. Work smarter instead, and you'll be amazed at how much you can improve. Again, check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.